Record it. Record quick. 10 seconds. We'll just talk over that. And welcome out to the Golden Bear Sports Network. Here, Chris Malanga and Tim Meister joining me tonight. Tim, welcome.
Hey, thanks. It's nice to be back.
It is. It's good to have you here. Excited to be back here. And we've got a good one tonight. Van Wert and Bryan. And, Van Wert and Bryan kind of similar teams. Bryan without a league win so far. Van Wert without a league win. Van Wert in that tough WBL. Bryan in the NWOAL. And both teams really want today's game to kind of change things.
Yeah, I think it's two coaches trying to get their programs back to where they once were. Both of them had a ton of success in the 90s and 2000s, and even recently in the last 7 or 8 years. And so it's just a matter of watching those programs evolve. So I think both teams, Chris, looking at it as a very important game tonight.
Absolutely. The Golden Bears lost last night at Delta 48-30. And when I talked to Coach Homeyer about things, he wasn't super thrilled about how things went as far as the game last night. He felt that they didn't play well. They played tentative. They played scared, and he wasn't pleased with the effort on the road.
Yeah, and the nice thing when you don't play well, you have a bounce-back game the next day. You're always anxious to get back. Be interesting for me to see how the kids react to a 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock start when typically it's a 6 or 7 o'clock start. But yeah, it's always nice as a coach to get that bounce-back game if you haven't played well the night before. And I'm sure there was a spirited conversation had about how they ought to play today.
Now you coached, several years here at Bryan, and what is it like playing the back-to-back games? You have a Friday night game on the road. You come back here on a Saturday, and basically the rest of the entire season we're going to see that.
It gets tough as the season goes because you have to be very careful during the week of how you practice, because even though they're teenage boys, their bodies still wear down. Everybody's bumped and bruised. And typically your focus is on game of the week because it's a league game, and that's the game you really try to focus on. Then the non-league game on a Saturday, typically you're trying to just do a prep within an hour. You bring the kids in, you get them loose, you shoot around, you try to walk through a quick scouting report. And the Saturday night game is really you just try to play and adjust on the fly. And I always thought, coaching, Chris, that your Friday night game, you were a lot more prepared in the sense of your kids had walked through those sets, they knew what was going on. Saturday, you found you and your coaching staff making more adjustments on the fly just because of the lack of prep time.
And so when they get back last night, do they do any work this morning, or they get back last night and they come up and show up here?
I can only speak to what we did. I'm not sure what Coach Homeyer does, but we always tried to get the kids in by 10 or 11 in the morning to get them up. We would take about a half an hour to stretch, jog, try to get a sweat, shoot some free throws, just try to get that initial stiffness and soreness out of them, go through a little bit of film, walk through the sets that we wanted to do, walk through the sets that we knew we had to defend, and then try to get them home and rested up for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it is going to be a good game here tonight. The JV game has been extended. We thought we were going to be going pretty quickly, and lots of whistles happening here at the end, lots of timeouts, as one is went to do. It's 42-37 here right now, and Bryan leads Van Wert, and Van Wert trying to extend this game and trying to just hold on.
Yeah, you get close JV games, and it's good for the kids because you want them to get in that situation to prep them for the next varsity level.
All right, it is the Oberlin Turnbull countdown to tip-off. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family-owned, family-focused. I had a chance to chat with Bryan head coach Brock Homeyer. You're going to hear that after this timeout on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
To the Bryan Golden Bear fans, those who made donations to the cause,
to the school board and administration,
and everyone who played a role in this project.
We just want to say,
thank you!
Phase 2 of the capital improvement project includes field upgrades at Rec Park, a new softball field, and revitalization of soccer fields on the former Washington school property, and renewal of practice fields on the BCS campus. Let's finish the project and build champions.
Go Bears! Bryan Bill!
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead. STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. The only limit is your imagination. Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Welcome back out on the Golden Bear Sports Network. Chris Malanga alongside Coach Brock Homeyer of the Bryan Golden Bears. And Coach, tough one last night at Delta.
Yeah, we knew their zone was going to hurt us. You got to make shots when you play against a really good zone like that, and we did not, and we paid for it.
Delta always tough with that zone, and now you face Van Wert, a team kind of like yourselves, struggling just a little bit on the year, but led by a pretty intense freshman.
Yeah, he can play. I've watched a lot of film on him. We're going to try and mix it up again like we've been doing, but, we're so wishy-washy offensively. We never know what we're going to get. But so hopefully we can get back in rhythm and get back in the win column and get some guys' confidence back up to where they were at the beginning of the year.
Are you thinking that, it's you guys beating yourselves at this point?
Yes, I do. 100%. Like all week we went over that 2-3 zone every single day, and it kind of, we were doing very well with it. We did really well in the first, 3 minutes of the first quarter. And then, once the shots don't fall and we have way too many turnovers, and then we kind of resort back to how we've been in the past years where we lose confidence and kind of just shut down. But luckily, it's the middle of the year. We have time to fix some things. But, yeah, for the most part, when we continue to make the same mistakes over and over and over, and we have to be able to learn from that. And that's my seniors and some juniors included. But thankfully we're in the middle of the season and we got time to get better.
Absolutely. We talked last week about how from here on out you're basically going Friday, Saturday. Is that a good thing or is that a tough thing?
I don't know. You could look at it either way. I think we're immensely better at home, so that looks good for us tonight. But it's basketball. You got to be able to come back. You got to be able to, erase bad things out of your brain. And I told the boys in the locker room that let's do the Men in Black and not even remember what happened last night, kind of do the light in the eyes and forget about everything that happened and move on.
And what do you think are your 3 keys to the game tonight to beat Van Wert?
So they are young. So I think we need to be physical with them. I think we need to do a better job of crashing the boards. When you could see our percentages from 3 and from the field. When you don't shoot as well, second chance points are very important, and I think that's a big deal. From the foul line, we've also struggled with. That's just confidence and in their head. But I think we need to be physical, one. We've got to learn how to guard and keep people under 40. And just play like we know how. I think we're playing a little tight, trying to get these boys to just enjoy their time and quit worrying so much about what the coach is saying and just play ball. It's evident that, we haven't got a lot of time, left, but
yep.
We're trying to do what we can to continue to grow as basketball players.
All right. Well, Coach, I wish you the best of luck tonight as you face Van Wert.
Thank you.
Coach Brock Holmeyer of the Bryan Golden Bears is going to take this time out, come back with more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Why do so many people travel to Jason Eats Automotive Services in Edgerton when they want their vehicles repaired? Because Dave Brown and Sam Bailey have over 60 years of experience fixing the problems that other mechanics couldn't. They work on all makes and models, and they specialize on imports. Recently, they have expanded their service area by almost 50%, and they've hired Eston Knerk to their staff. So if you have a vehicle, foreign or domestic, that you want fixed right the first time, take it to Jason Dietsch Automotive Services on the east side of Edgerton.
The Bryan Parks and Recreation Department would like to wish the Bryan Golden Bears good luck in tonight's game. The Bryan Parks and Rec offers a wide variety of classes for you during the entire year and an array of sporting events all year long. Check out what the Bryan Parks and Recreations Department has going on at bryanparksandrec.com or like them on Facebook. The Bryan Parks and Rec hopes to see you in one of the many parks that Bryan has to offer and enjoy the facilities. Questions about the classes or rental of one of their facilities, call 633-6030.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, it is Van Wert and Bryan getting set to do battle, and we have a little bit of an extended pregame because the way the JV was going, it was looking like it was going to run out. We wanted to get on before we had our limited time pregame, and this game has gotten extended with some fouling and some foul shooting and some timeouts.
We have some late game execution by both coaches and both kids. Van Wert doing a nice job of fouling and extending the clock and then coming down and trying to get a shot off and either foul and a timeout. So, again, we talked about, Chris, just a good experience for JV kids to get in these types of situations.
Absolutely. Van Wert trails the Golden Bears, and now it is a 1-point ball game, 43-42 here in the JV game. Yeah. And, you know, if we foul right here, if we get fouled right here and only make one, we could have the unthinkable, which is JV overtime.
The dreaded JV overtime.
we always talk about joking about the officials, that's the one thing they're not allowed to do is JV overtime.
Yeah.
But in a game like today, you never know. But let's take a look and meet these two varsity teams all waiting. First, before we do that, we want to thank our sponsors bringing you the game. They include Andrews, O'Neill & Lowe, the Bryan Parks and Rec, Fackler Monument, newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger, Oberlin, Turnbull, Funeral Home, and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Danielle Van Atta Agency, Jason Dietsch Automotive Services, Northwest State Community College, and Starks Plumbing and Heating. The last time these two teams met was last January when Van Wert defeated Bryan 68-44. And that was at Van Wert, and now they're here in the Golden Bears trying to get a win. So, you know, last year kind of a big defeat from Van Wert.
Yeah, and certainly as you talked about, both teams trying to get that win. And I think they probably look at this game on the schedule coming back and saying, you know, this is one that we can get. And you're heading into starting to think about tournament, if you believe it or not, Chris. You know, here we are in mid to late January. So these are the types of games that can really propel you and give you some positive springboards to go on.
Absolutely. Well, let's take a look at these two teams. Let's first meet the Bryan Golden Bears. Golden Bears coached by Brock Homeyer. His third year at Bryan, he is 10-44. They are sitting at 4-6 on the season, 0-2 in the NWOAL. Bryan averaging 43.7 points a game and allowing 49 points a game. Last night, as we mentioned, they lost to Delta on the road, 48-30, in a game that I think Coach Homeyer and his staff and the kids really thought that they should have won.
Delta's not an easy place to play.
It is not.
It's a very unique gym. They have the stage on the end that they drop the big mural when you play. So you have two different shooting backgrounds from first half to second half. It's the old gym with, you know, the two tiers that just go straight up on both sides. So it's a unique place to play.
It is, and the Golden Bears got here. This schedule to date looks like this. They lost to Defiance back on December 16th. They lost at Pettisville on the 21st. They did beat Rossford 60-58, and in that game, Gavin Jessing got his first start for the Bears and put up 26 in that game. And then they lost at Archbold last week, and then at Delta. And let's see, it looks like we finally won that one, 43-42 in the JV. That got a little too close to comfort. And let's take a look so far at the league. Very early in the league season, but as Coach mentioned in his interview, you know, there's not much basketball left, especially for these seniors. And, you know, you are thinking about tournament time. You're already 2 games into the league. And if you look at the NWOAL right now, surprise maybe at the top with Evergreen.
Yeah, you know, Evergreen is pretty talented. Their point guard their point guard is the son of a coach. Certainly that plays a part into it. He's a senior. He's been in the battles. No one's talking about this, but what a big win Liberty Center had last night over Archibald. I think that certainly will have a bearing on the league standings. I think going into it, everybody kind of targeted Archibald as, I think there might be the best team in the league. And all of a sudden, the Liberty kids off of football got their basketball legs under them because they're really athletic. So that league could be up for grabs.
Absolutely. Wasion's up there. Archibald sitting at 1-1 on the season. Archibald had a great regular season to date, 11-1. You know, it's a great with Coach Frank there, and hard to believe Coach Frank's in his 6th year there. That was a surprise to me when I looked at those.
Yeah, 6th year, but 42nd overall. I always tell him that's always unfair. They go, he's a young coach, and he's the old man of the league. Don't let him get it. But what a terrific job. He's been an outstanding coach in many different sports for many years.
Let's take a look at the Van Wert Cougars. Van Wert's coached by Ben Laudick. He's in his 5th year here at Van Wert, 53-48. Van Wert is averaging 47.4 points a game, allowing 57.6, and they lost last night as well to St. Mary's in the Western Buckeye League, 63-37. That is tough there. Tough league to play in.
Yeah, the WL is very talented. Of course, St. Mary's is very good. They took Ottawa Glandorf down to the wire last week. They have a 6'7" post player who's a really nice player. St. Mary's has a 6'5" guard who I watched on TV, and he is outstanding. So it isn't like Van Wert played someone who wasn't very good. St. Mary's is a very, very talented team, and like you said, Chris, a very difficult league to play in.
And if you look back at the last 5 games here for Van Wert, they lost to St. Mary's, as we said. They lost to a very tough Marion local team. They lost at Wapak. They beat Lincoln View, and then they lost to Defiance. And Defiance, when you look at the WBL, when you look at that lineup for the league top to bottom, it's really, really surprising that Defiance, how they're struggling right now.
That just speaks to how difficult that league is, and night in, night out, there's not a there's not a team in that league that you cannot be prepared for. So I'm not sure so much as Defiance is struggling, the fact that league is so quality that you can't be an average team and succeed in there. You really have to play a night in, night out, very good basketball.
When you look at the league for the WBL, Ottawa Glandorf sitting up top at 4-0. Shawnee also at 4-0. Ottawa Glandorf only lost 2 games on the season. St. Mary's is right up there, as we said, and then when you look towards the bottom, it's Kenton, Wapak, Van Wert, and Bath. The team's pretty much without a league win so far, kind of struggling.
Yeah, and no question. Every year the WBL runs through Ottawa Glandorf. I don't care what anybody says. Until someone knocks them off, they're the people you have to beat.
Absolutely, and they just a program of success there at OG. I mean, just constant success. You're always hearing about them.
It is I'm not sure how long the school has been in existence, but however long that number is, that's how long they've been good at basketball.
Absolutely. So that is how the league looks for the WBL right now. We've got Bryan and Van Wert. They're both out on the floor warming up. I want to take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll meet our keys to the game, meet our officials, and chat some more about this one. You're watching Golden Bear basketball on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
At Oberlin, Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we understand that family is at the heart of everything we do.
Being family-owned and family-focused is not just a slogan for us, it's a way of life. We walk alongside you during life's most challenging moments, providing a guiding hand and a shoulder to lean on.
With heartfelt care and attention to detail, we tailor each service to honor the life and the memories of your loved one. We treat you like family because your journey is our journey.
Oberlin, Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family-owned, family-focused.
Here at the Williams County Veteran Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, stop in today and see how we can help you at the Williams County Veteran Service Office.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, it's going to be Van Wert and Bryan doing battle here from the Bears Den. Chris Malanga, Tim Meister joining me today. And let's take a look at our keys to the game, Tim. Keys to the game being brought to you by Carlin Company Realty and Auctioneers. They've been your hometown real estate company for over 45 years. They've consistently remained #1 in Williams County and the surrounding area since 2007. Call us for all your real estate needs. Let's look at those keys for Bryan as they pop up on the screen here.
Yeah, I know this has probably been a theme for Bryan all year, for Coach Holmeyer, but being physical and doing a better job on crashing the boards. I think that's a key tonight because Van Wert has struggled giving up offensive rebounds. So I think the Bears are going to have to hit the offensive glass hard, do a better job of guarding. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Neither team is offensively explosive, but they can both be very efficient. I look for it to be in the mid-40s. And I love that last one. Enjoy their time and just play. Sometimes we get so complicated and so into X's and O's that you forget kids play better when they're free and loose. So I really like the fact that he put that up. Hey, it's an enjoyable game. Have fun and play it.
And when you're talking with, when he talked in the pregame, he actually said the words, they need to go out and play basketball. Don't worry about everything the coaches are saying. Just get out and play. When you're coaching a team, how much do you let them run the floor as much as the coach runs the floor? What's the philosophy there?
You know, basketball is a very interesting game because I've always felt it's been a game of flow. So the last thing you want to do as a coach is every possession stop, run a set, stop, run a set. At the same breath, you don't want to get into a situation where it looks like open gym. So it's a balance, but us coaches have always said, your teams are really good, they just let it rip. I mean, they just go play. They still execute your stuff, but they go play and they think less and play more, and I'm sure that's what he's alluding to.
Jace Kepler and Sam Hiller for your starters here for Bryan. You also got Carter Brown, who's been who's a senior. Carter Dominic, a 3-year starter at a junior. And then, as I said, Gavin Jessing just starting, so those guys are experienced and they know what needs to be done. They just need to do it.
They do, and I wrote this down before the game. I think both teams have one really similar thing that's going to be a key today. Both of them have two kids that can score consistently and have scored consistently. Where's that third and fourth score today? Yep. Well, one of those third and fourth scores get you 12 to 15 because of one of those a Gavin Jessing or a Carter Dominic or someone else. For Van Wert, I know they play pretty much 6 kids, but about their third and fourth score. If one of those kids can step up and get 12 or 15, I want to keep an eye on that because I think that might tilt it towards the favor of one or the other.
Okay, let's take a look at the keys to the game for Van Wert, and what Coach Ben Loddick said was the thing they needed to do.
Yeah, they have to get off to a good start. I know he mentioned that their first quarters have been nightmares this year. It seems like they have played from behind from the beginning of every game. So I'm sure he's talking to his kids about quality shots early on and not giving up easy free shots to Bryan. Rebound at both ends of the floor, like we talked about, their rebounding has been an issue. They've given up almost 50 more offensive rebounds this season than their opponent. That's 50 chances at a 2 or a 3 on a second chance basis. So they really have to do well on that, Chris. And then finally, limit the turnovers and don't force shots. I think for me, looking at their stats, I think the turnovers are pretty big because, again, teams they have played this year, they have turned Van Wert over 25 times more than Van Wert has, and those are extra possessions. So you couple the turnovers issue with the offensive rebounding issue, second chance points, again, could be key for Bryan.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the Bears have been out-rebounded a lot of times, but this is a situation where they definitely need to do a better job of doing that. Gavin Jessing and Carter Dominic have been pretty good as of late, making some rebounding efforts. And you're never going to let a guy like Sam Harold, not challenge you. So I think the Bears can do it. And again, I really think when you talk to Coach Homeyer, it's not about X's and O's. It's not about skill. It is about execution.
It is about execution. And I think also their bugaboo the last couple of years sometimes it's about making baskets. They just need to see balls go through the basket early on. If they can do that, get a little confidence in their shooting. And neither team is real big inside. So you talk about rebounding, Chris, it won't come down to physical matchup. It will come down to what you just mentioned. Who's going to execute as far as boxing out and going to the offensive glass?
Yeah, the other thing is the Bears, during their game a couple of weeks ago, they ran a little bit of press. I know they're not deep enough to do that all the time, but do you think maybe that's a strategy it's in the works, maybe to put a little pressure on Van Wert?
Yeah, absolutely, and I wouldn't be surprised if they mixed it up. If they showed a little man, a little zone, they went a little full court press, a little half court press, just to try to keep Van Wert off balance with different defensive looks.
Absolutely. Okay, let's meet our game officials. Our game officials being brought to you by Tri-State Vision Center. Tri-State Vision Center has been serving the area since 1977. Contact us at either our Bryan or Montpelier offices for all of your eye care needs. Officials tonight, Michael Varner, Robert Ellerbrock, and Ryan Heller, a veteran officiating crew over there. And again, we always like to thank the officials because if we don't have officials, we don't have games.
Yeah, and it's a tough job. It's a thankless job, but like you said, Chris, without them, we don't have games.
And they're pretty well known here. I think all 3 of them have been here before doing games, and it's good to see them back and get ready for this one. All right, we're going to take a timeout. It's the Oberlin Turnbull countdown to tip-off. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family-owned, family-focused. Going to take this timeout. Come back with more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Discover tremendous scholarship opportunities at Northwest State. Over the past 2 years, we have awarded nearly $2 million in foundation scholarships. That's free money for college. Don't miss out. Apply today.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, it is Van Wert and Bryan getting set to tip off here at the Bears Den. Chris Malanga, Tim Meister joining me as Brian Arnold unable to do the game today. Thank you for pinch hitting for Arnie here.
No one can really fill the shoes of Brian Arnold. Let's get that on the air and officially on the record. No, Chris, I really enjoy this. No, Brian's your regular partner, but for me, it's kind of nice to get back up here. I almost get back in that coaching mode again where I get to analyze things. I get to look at things, try to figure out how chess matches happen. Those are the things I always really enjoyed from coaching.
Absolutely. Well, the girls basketball team today defeated St. Mary's, which was exciting. Anytime you get in non-league, you go more than an hour away, you know, and it's a team that, let's be honest, has been in your face in soccer, in your face in basketball. It's always good to get that win.
Yeah, they've kind of developed a nice little rivalry with St. Mary's. As we talked about, that WBL, that league is very tough. You get a win against another Division II opponent. You're starting to look at seedings for tournament. That's just a great win for the Lady Bears to go on the road and win was really pretty dominant fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a good game, and you know, they have every team they have played. They've started out slow, and you know, and it's good to get those wins. And it's actually to the point now, a lot of times they're winning in such dominating fashion that you got students saying, I don't like going to girls' games because it gets boring. You know what I mean? Those girls are never boring to watch.
No, and you know, I don't know if people understand how difficult it is to be in their situation where they're a Final Four team in the state last year. They return, you know, almost everyone save a couple of really good seniors from last year. So one is you have to try to duplicate that success. Two, you're getting every team's best shot. So every team is coming out giving you their absolute best, and sometimes that causes some slow starts.
Yep.
So it's not always your kids start slow, it's the other teams play well, so give credit where credit is due. And then the third thing I think is difficult is, like you said, they're blowing a lot of teams out, so you still have to maintain that intensity because you know you have some tough games like Liberty Center and people like that coming down the road.
And when you think about it, you know, we watched them play Delta on Thursday night the other night, and they had that 1 minute into the third quarter, they're in a running clock situation. And then they're playing the bench, which is great. No, don't get me wrong, that to extend that rotation is great. But then you wonder about, you know, if that happens regularly, you get worried about when you have a Liberty Center or a Patrick Henry, and you're going to have those girls going to have to play 4 quarters.
Right, and I think Coach Grosjean does a really nice job when he goes to his bench and they have a running clock. Is he's getting his young kids experience, but he's also mixing them in with his regulars. So if he gets into a situation down the road where he has foul trouble, he has to play one of those kids for extended minutes. They're not used to just playing with the starters, and they've had that experience now. It's not a new thing for them, and that's a really tough balance. But I think Coach Grosjean has done a very nice job in handling that.
Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule for the GBSN, because we've got some interesting stuff going on. We're doing the Friday-Saturday thing. We're actually doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So Thursday night, we're at Patrick Henry, and then we're going to be for the girls, and then Friday, Patrick Henry for the boys come here. Then we have Fairview the following Saturday, so 3 games in a row. And then we take a little break, and we get Catherine Rocky in with us, and we do swim and dive, and that's always fun to do. And it's really important to get everybody highlighted, all the athletes here at Bryan High School.
Well, they've had some ton of success in swim and dive. I mean, Bryan has been as good as anybody in Northwest Ohio. Sent many, many competitors on to the state. Mackenzie Luce just has a terrific program. So I'm really glad you guys are doing that, Chris. That's great for those kids.
Absolutely. And then Bryan at Liberty Center with the girls. So this next 2 weeks for the girls is really, really challenging.
I look at those games you have listed in all those contests, whether it be basketball or swimming. Those are great contests all the way through. That's going to be really good basketball, really good swimming. Some very close competitive games.
And Fairview, always the rival. We play them in every sport but football, really. And Coach Homeyer's first year, Fairview was the only win, and and so that's a close team, and it's non-league, but it's a close team. The gym will be packed for that, and trust me, exciting.
Fairview remembers that they were his only win, and I again, knowing Coach Kaufman, the quality coach he is, I'm sure that might get mentioned once or twice that week.
Absolutely. All right, we're getting ready to do Bryan and Van Wert here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. It is the Oberlin Turnbull countdown to tip-off. We are going to take a 60-second timeout. Come back with more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Let's play together. Bryan, Ohio will have a new inclusive playground on the site of the former Lincoln Elementary School.
Discover tremendous scholarship opportunities at Northwest State. Over the past 2 years, we have awarded nearly $2 million in foundation scholarships. That's free money for college. Don't miss out. Apply today.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just ask me?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead. STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. The only limit is your imagination. Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, it is Bryan and Van Wert here as we're in the Oberlin Turnbull countdown to tip-off. I want to thank our sponsors bringing you the game. Andrews O'Neill Lowe, the Bryan Parks and Rec, Fackler Monument, Newcomers Schaefer, Spangler and Breininger, Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, Veteran Services of Williams County, the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Danielle Van Atta Agency, Jason Dietsch Automotive Services, Northwest State Community College, and Starks Plumbing and Heating. And Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory sponsoring our tip-off show, family-owned, family-focused. We thank Caleb and Tom and all the folks at Oberlin Turnbull for this. Well, we're getting ready for this one, Bryan and Van Wert. And, when you're – one of the things that Coach Homeyer talked about was the Men in Black thing. Do you forget about the game last night? Is that hard to do as a coach?
It is until the tip-off of this game. I mean, that's just how you're built and how you're wired. But the one thing with basketball that differs from, like, let's say a football is you play back-to-back nights. It's almost like a medicine. It's like you want to get back on. You want your kids to show that they're better than they played last night. I'm sure that's the situation Brock is in. So that weighs on you. You want your kids to succeed, but I'm guarantee you the minute this ball tips off, last night's gone.
It's gone. Hey, Coach Loddick in the same situation because they lost to St. Mary's last night, and they feel like this is one they should be able to come in and get.
I would be shocked if the thought process and pregame thoughts and speeches of the coaches weren't almost identical because their teams are in really very, very similar situations. And one thing we haven't talked about, Van Wert's best player statistically, and the young man that runs the floor is Caden Welsh. He's a freshman.
Yep.
And people always talk about, it's a freshman playing varsity. And I've always said, when a kid gets in high school, grade levels disappear.
Yep.
Results are what matter. So obviously, this young man has been able to step up and play at the varsity level and be very good. So I'm excited to watch him play.
Yeah, absolutely. The young man you're talking about is leading the team 13.3 points a game as a freshman.
Yeah, he's not only leading the team in scoring, he's also leading them in rebounds and assists. That's pretty good for a freshman.
Yeah, and we've seen a little bit of that. Carter Dominic played as a freshman and has now in his third year. And, you got to play the best five on the floor, right? It doesn't matter what grade they're in, as you said.
And that's why I said when you get into high school, grades disappear. It's about results. And, I've been very fortunate. I've had a couple of really, really good freshmen who I played on varsity. You do as a coach worry about the physicality of it, the speed, because that steps up. Because a year ago, these kids were playing junior high.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, Chris, if they can play, they play.
Absolutely. Well, these two teams getting ready to do battle. It'll be interesting to see how both teams react after a loss last night. I know Coach Homeyer is still looking for that first league win as a coach here at Bryan.
Yeah, and he'll get it. He'll get it. It's just a matter of keeping banging on the door, and eventually he'll knock it down. And I like what you talked about earlier, what Van Wert's coach talked about. I want to see who gets off to the quick start.
Yep, absolutely, and that has been a problem for the Cougars. Their first quarter, as you said early, is not been particularly good for them.
Yeah, and I want to see what he does, because sometimes when your kids don't start fast, you try to do a couple of things. Typically, you try to pick up full court pressure on defense. So are they going to try to press? Are they going to try to go man-to-man? The other thing you try to do on the defensive end of the floor is you try to trap. So maybe they won't pick up full court. Maybe they'll get into a half-court situation, but will they trap the first or second pass? Again, just trying to create some flow and easy baskets to get that start.
Yeah, you got to just get off to a good start. And, it's a Saturday. It's not a Saturday night. It's a Saturday late afternoon. You played last night, and really, and it's a non-league game, and you just kind of wonder, is the intensity going to be there? And this coach is going to earn their paychecks today to make sure the intensity is up on these teams.
This is like a Florida game, where they eat dinner at 4 p.m. in Florida. This is like, I kind of feel like that. It's a 4 p.m. This is new to me, so kind of interesting.
Absolutely. All right, well, we're about ready to get this one underway. It's been the Oberlin Turnbull countdown to tip-off. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, family-owned, family-focused, about ready to send things down to our public address announcer, Aaron Hughes, who's going to bring us all of the pregame festivities and our national anthem and all that stuff. So send it down to Aaron right now.
The Bryan High School's Bears then for tonight's basketball game featuring the visiting Wert Cougars and your Golden Bears. is a land of the free and home of the brave, and that freedom has been afforded us by the dedication and sacrifice of brave servicemen and women currently deployed throughout our communities and around the world, and many others who have come before us. To thank these extraordinary men and women and to honor our great nation, would you please rise in the playing of our national anthem.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at North.
Our national anthem brought to you by Veteran Services of Williams County.
The officials assigned this game have met the requirements set by the OHSAA and have been approved for their important role in tonight's games. Our officials are Mr. Michael Harner, Mr. Robert Elbrook, and Mr. Ryan Heller. Gentlemen, welcome to Bryan. In order to make today's contest as enjoyable as possible, please represent your school and community in a positive and respectful manner. That means follow the rules, speak and act responsibly, and show courtesy and respect for your fellow fans, the officials and coaches, the administration and authority figures, and of course your team and their opponents. Let's make today's contest great and remember to respect the game. Thank you. Now to meet the teams. First of the guests on the scoreboard, the Van Wert Cougars. Starters for Van Wert, number 0, Gage Seaman. Number 2, Caden Schaefer. Number 5, Rylan Miller. Number 11, Keaton Welch. And number 24, Colin Haggerty. Varsity coach has been allotted, assisted by Damian Helma, Brandon Miller, and Keaton Aldemus. Yep. Get up, Golden Bear fans, for your Stars. At a guard, 6'1", senior number 3, Ace Kepler. At a guard, a 5'10", senior number 24, Sam Harold. At a forward, a 6'2", junior number 14, Gavin Jessing. At a forward, a 6'1", senior number 23, Carter Brown. And at a forward, a 6'1", junior number 32, Carter Dominic. Varsity coaches Brock Holmeyer, assisted by Kevin Holmeyer, Casey Spetnall, and Mo Zuver. Gentlemen, let's play ball.
Well, after our extended pregame, we're about ready to get this one underway. Van Wert Cougars and the Bryan Golden Bears getting ready to tip things off. Bryan sitting at 4-6 on the year, 0-2 in the NWOAL. Van Wert 3-11, 0-4 in the Western Buckeye League. And Chris Malanga, Tim Meister here with you and going to bring you this action here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Getting ready to tip it away. Gavin Jessing will tip it off to Jace Kepler. Kepler will go to his right side, then get underneath to Sam Harold. Harold will spin, put up a shot. It is blocked, but then he gets his own rebound. Now Carter Brown puts one up, no good. Carter Dominic will now draw the foul. So there's that early rebounding you talked about.
Yeah, that's been Van Wert's bugaboo all year. They give up a bunch of offensive boards, and a really nice job by Bryan. They ISO'd Sam Harold right away, got a quality look, then crashed the boards and got 3 extra chances.
First foul will be on number 0, Gage Steeman. First one for Carter Dominic is good. The Bears take a 1-0 lead. Next one is good, so a quick 2-0 lead with 7:42 remaining first quarter, and a couple Welling Construction free throws gets to start going.
There's the full court pressure you alluded to before the game, Chris. Bryan coming out in a 2-2-1 3-quarter, trying to see if they can get maybe a turnover, just disrupt the Van Wert offense.
Van Wert takes a three ball in the air as an air ball goes out of bounds. And that was 11, Keaton Welch. He's the freshman we talked about.
Yep, they probably want to try to get him going early. He had a good look. See how he adjusts from here.
Kepler brings it up. Left side, we'll give to Sam Harold. Now back to Kepler. Now back to Harold on the left wing. Harold will dribble at the foul line. Extended, give to Carter Dominic. Carter Dominic will turn, give to Carter Brown. And now they'll reset with Kepler. Kepler gives underneath to Dominic. We'll give to Jessing now. Jessing with the head fake gives to Sam Harold. Harold will crash in, put up a shot, no good. Rebound comes down to Jessing, who puts the putback up and in. Gavin Jessing makes it 4-0 on the Main Stop scoreboard. Main Stop's open when you need them. You're always near a Main Stop. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday. Every Thursday, the Main Stops of Northwest Ohio.
That's the 4th offensive rebound in the first 2 possessions for Bryan.
Steal right there as Jace Kepler picked his pocket. Kep brings it up. Underneath to Sammy Harold. Harold drives, foul line extended, shot up and good. Sam Harold with 2. Let's see how quickly Coach Schlottick would call a timeout here.
Looks like Bryan's trying to get Sam Harold going early. Their first 3 possessions, they ran sets where he's ended up in an ISO situation and got a shot.
Again, Bears at full court pressure. They get underneath, bounce pass, and Carter Dominic's going to pick up a foul as he was going to block the shot. Let's see. That'll be his first, team first, so 1 team foul each way.
Nice job by Van Wert of breaking the press and getting themselves in a 2-on-1 situation. And the young man made a terrific, unselfish pass, drew the defender out, had his teammate open underneath, and just a nice little drop dump pass there.
Gage Steeman is a 64% free throw shooter for the Cougars. First one rattles home, good. First points of the game, and now the Main Stop scoreboard shows 6-1. In favor of Bryan with 6:05 remaining first quarter. Main Stops open when you need them. You're always near a Main Stop. Don't forget Thirsty Thursday, every Thursday, the Main Stops of Northwest Ohio. Second one is no good. Rebound will come down to Gavin Jessing. Jessing will give back to Kep, and Kep will get it over the timeline. Kep will give to Carter Dominic, then to Sam Harold. Gets poked away, but Harold able to keep it. He'll drive, then it's poked away by Van Wert. It'll stay right here as it went off the hands of Gage Steeman, the 6'2 senior. Active defense so far for Van Wert.
Yeah, and because of their lack of depth, they're probably going to be forced to play a lot of half court, but they can still pressure in that half court defense.
Underneath, Carter Dominic puts up a shot, lots of contact, no foul called. Carter's got to be upset about that because down at the other end, he got the foul and light contact. But it'll go out of bounds off of Van Wert, so Kepler will inbound on the baseline. Feeds underneath to Dominic, then he'll get it back. Shot up and good for Jace Kepler. Van Wert will bring it up against that pressure defense. Trap here in the corner, or right at the timeline. He gets through it. Will gives over to Steeman. Steeman will give back to Haggerty. Haggerty will give to Keaton Welch, leading scorer for the Cougars. Welch will give quickly to Steeman, then right back to Welch. Bounce pass, top of the key to Schaefer. Now they go down low to Steeman. Steeman will drive baseline, run into Carter Dominic, able to get it out, and now to Welch. Welch will draw contact from Sam Harold. That'll be his first, team second. What do you make of the early whistles here? What do you see?
I think the officials are going to try to keep the hand checking on the perimeter to a minimum, but I think they're going to let them play a little bit inside. So let's see if that trend continues.
Knocked away at Carter Dominic on the inbound pass, so the Bears will have it. That'll be a turnover for the Cougars. Kepler in between the circles. He'll go left side. He's got Carter Brown there. We'll hand off to Brown. Brown fake shot underneath to Carter Dominic. Dominic with one on his hip, puts up a shot over him. It's up and good. And now Coach Loddick will call the first timeout with the main stop scoreboard showing 10-1. We're taking a Bryan Ford Lincoln timeout. Back after this.
Let's play together. Bryan, Ohio will have a new inclusive playground on the site of the former Lincoln Elementary School. An inclusive playground is a place for children and families of all physical, mental, and social abilities to learn, play, and grow together. We are currently raising funds with the goal of starting construction this fall. The Lincoln Park Inclusive Playground Project is an initiative of Bryan Parks and Recreation using a project fund at the Bryan Area Foundation. To learn more or make a donation, visit BryanAreaFoundation.org.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, 10-1. Bears leads early here over Van Wert on the main stop scoreboard. This full court pressure has been giving Van Wert a little bit of fits. Rebound comes down after the missed shot to Gavin Jessing. They're getting them real close to that 10-second call, but they're always able at the last second to kind of get it over.
Yeah, and that's that 2-2-1 press. That's what it's supposed to do. It's not necessarily a press set up to turn you over. It's a press to make you struggle getting the ball across the court at the 10-second line. UCLA made it famous back in the 60s and 70s with John Wooden.
Carter Dominic goes inside, puts up a shot. It rolls around in front of the rim and good. Carter Dominic has 6 points here in the first quarter. 12-1 Bears. 3:46 remaining first quarter. Shot is up and missed by Keaton Welch. The rebound comes down to Van Wert. They'll reset. Caden Schaefer has it. We'll go on the right side to Colin Haggerty. He launches a three, no good. Sam Harold comes down with the rebound.
Well, the two things that Van Wert was concerned about that they didn't want to do was give up a bunch of offensive rebounds and get off to a slow start, and both have happened to them.
They have. How many offensive rebounds have they given up?
Bryan has 5 offensive rebounds in the first 5 minutes of the game.
Wow. Kepler with the basketball. We'll give it to Sam Harold. Harold launches a three from the left corner. No good. Rebound comes down and a putback by Gavin Jessing. Get another offensive rebound. No good. And then he gets it again, and now Van Wert will chase it down, and we're getting a foul on Carter Brown. And boy, oh boy, in that paint, it is all Bears.
Yeah. Another possession where they had 2 offensive rebounds.
Maddox Langendorfer will check in, and that is a good sign because that young man has dealt with some injury the last couple of years.
He's had the worst health luck, and certainly kudos to him for really pushing through and surviving that.
All right, they'll bring it up. Caden Schaefer has it. He'll go right side, working against Langendorfer. He'll try to go left now and then give top of the key. 3 ball is in the air, and that is good for Cohen Bragg. The 5'11 freshman makes it 12-4 Bears.
Yeah, and he's really the only significant bench player that Van Wert has. So interesting, they start a freshman, and their 6th man's a freshman.
Cross court to Langendorfer. Langendorfer comes through the key, runs into some trouble. Nice spin move, puts it up and off with the glass with the right hand. Nice move there by Maddox.
Pretty move.
14-4. Keaton Welch with the basketball, looking to go baseline. Then they fire top of the key to Caden Schaefer, who launches a 3, no good. Rebound comes down to Van Wert. Then it's loose on the floor. Carter Dominic will pick it up. I like that inside-out play of Van Wert.
Yeah, they've gotten good shots, Chris. They just haven't made them, and they haven't gotten offensive rebounds themselves.
Carter Brown has it on the right wing. Now top of the key to Kepler, underneath to Langendorfer. Langendorfer gives out to Sam Harold. Harold goes around to screen, then gives back to Langendorfer. Langendorfer looks to drive, kicks it out. Carter Brown, right side, 3 ball in the air, no good. Rebound tipped around, comes down to Carter Dominic. Again, an offensive rebound for the Golden Bears. Carter Dominic has it inside, gives it quickly to Kepler. Kepler goes up, will draw contact, and will head to the line for Welling Construction free throws. Welling Construction, a third-generation family-owned general contractor for quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact them at 419-636-3712. Welling Construction free throws coming for Jace Kepler.
Nice offensive possession for the Bears, Chris. All 5 guys touched the ball. They passed up 2 good shots to get a really good shot. Seems to me like that offense is in a much better flow right now. Exactly what Coach Holmeyer was hoping for.
First one from Kepler was good, as is the second. So that makes it 16-4 Bears with 1:13 remaining first quarter. Bring it up. Caden Schaefer has it on the left wing. He'll go to the top of the key. Give over to Cohen Bragg. Bragg to Welch. Welch looks to drive, then kicks out right side. Rylan Miller misses the 3. Rebound comes down to Van Wert, and then Welch runs and hits the deck, and it's stolen away by Langendorfer. I don't know what happened there, if Welch just lost his footing there or if there was contact. I didn't see anybody around him, but you never know.
Like a tangle of bodies, and everybody went down.
Welch working against Kepler. Kepler will dribble out of it, give over to Langendorfer, right wing. Now top of the key. Dylan Koenig in now. He has it on the right wing. Now to Kepler left side, 22 seconds to go first quarter. Koenig has it right side. Now to Langendorfer. Kepler has it again. 10 seconds to play here in the quarter. Up underneath, drive, Kepler makes it. 3 seconds to go here for Van Wert. They launch one. It is no good, and at the end of the first quarter of play, the main stop scoreboard shows the Golden Bears 18, Van Wert 4. We're going to take a timeout, come back with second half action after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
The Fountain City Amphitheater provides opportunities for families and friends to have fun at many different events. After winning Season 21 of The Voice on Team Kelly, Girl Named Tom recently performed a free concert on the AMP's incredible outdoor stage, thanks to numerous corporate and family sponsors.
With a 5-tier sponsorship opportunity, you can help support this project and all that is to come. Sponsorships promote brand exposure and include unique bonuses with each tier.
To learn more about how you can help provide quality programming at the AMP, visit cityofbryan.com/FC Amphitheater.
Here at the Williams County Veteran Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, stop in today and see how we can help you at the Williams County Veteran Service Office.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, entering the second quarter action. It's the Bryan Golden Bears 18, the Van Wert Cougars 4 here on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Chris Malanga, Tim Meister with you, and a good first quarter for the Bears.
Yeah, key here was Bears had 8 offensive rebounds. They were 7 for 15 from the 2. When they didn't make shots, they gave themselves second chances, and that's the reason for the score.
Van Wert has it. Colin Haggerty will go underneath, lose the basketball, and they're going to get Dylan Koenig on a foul. That'll be his team first of the quarter. Again, we say this all the time, but I always want to remind people the new foul shooting rules. 5 fouls in a quarter gives you 2 shots. As a former coach, what do you think about that?
You're asking the wrong guy. I don't like change. I don't know that it makes the game any better, but I'm sure someone a lot smarter than me had a better idea, and that's why we're doing it.
Kepler stole the inbound pass and then took it coast to coast for his 8th point of the game, 20-4. Bears.
Yeah, Van Wert is really close to this game getting out of hand. So
there, Caden Schaefer makes a 3-ball, and that was needed.
That's a huge basket. As a coach, it's so frustrating because, like I said, they've run some good sets. The ball just hasn't gone in for them. So maybe look for Van Wert, maybe even try to slow it down a bit, see if they'll run a little more offense and make the possessions a little shorter to shorten the game up.
Carter Dominic has it. Double team, shoots at the foul line, no good. Rebound tipped around and right to Caden Schaefer. That's one of the very few defensive rebounds I can remember Van Wert getting. 3-ball in the air the other way, and quickly Cohen Bragg makes it 20-10. So a big lead for the Bears turns quickly into just a 10-point lead.
And 2 huge possessions for Van Wert. I mean, they got wide open threes and they knocked them down. All of a sudden, that goes from a 14-point game, 16-point game into a 10-point game, and that whole new outlook now.
Underneath, Langendorfer. Basketball got loose and picked up by Van Wert. They give it cross court over to Colin Haggerty. Haggerty runs into Koenig, and Koenig hits the deck and falls down. No whistle on the contact, and they miss the shot. Carter Dominic comes down with a good rebound. Keppel will bring it up. He gets met at half court by Keaton Welch. He'll go right side, work around a screen. Sam Harold has the basketball now. Harold, right wing, looks to drive. Cross court over to Dylan Koenig. Skip pass now to Langendorfer. Langendorfer hands off to Sam Harold. Now Harold will work around the screen, put up a fadeaway jumper for the 2. And that makes it 22-10, 5:49 remaining on the second quarter scoreboard. 22-10 Bears. Welch will come inside, put up a shot, off balance, no good. Bears will get the rebound.
Well, Keaton Welch was trying to get himself going. That was a little bit of a forced shot.
Yep. Kepler has it over to Sammy Harold. Harold looks to drive. Harold continues to drive, puts up a shot, hits the deck, hit his elbow, and Van Wert has it. Van Wert's got numbers. 3 ball in the air is no good. Rebound tipped, and Sam Harold will take that and say thank you very much.
Thank you very much. He will.
Harold tried to get in and scoop shot that, and he hit the deck, and he thought there was contact. Official disagreed. Feed underneath to Carter Dominic. Dominic looks to back his way in. Kicks out to Dylan Koenig, now back to Kepler. Kepler, bounce pass. Now underneath to Langendorfer, puts up a layup with the right hand. Maddox Langendorfer comes back with 4 points.
That's a really nice job of high post entry, and then a quick backdoor cut by Maddox Langendorfer. Excellent give and go.
Van Wert has it steaming on the left side. Now they'll go top of the key to Bragg. 3 ball in the corner is no good. Rebound knocked around, loose on the floor, and we're going to get a jump ball, and that'll go to the Golden Bears. 4:28 remaining here, second quarter, 24-10 Bears against the Cougars. Gavin Jessing will check back into the game, and having Maddox Langendorfer available, Dylan Koenig able to come in, gets these guys some rest, and we've got a timeout, and I believe that was called by Coach Laudick, and it was. And it's going to be a full timeout. So a 4:28 remaining here, second quarter. Going to take it with him. The main stop scoreboard shows 24-10 in favor of the Golden Bears.
Rooting on the Golden Bears is a tradition that brings us all together.
Just like the sports we love, another tradition has stood the test of time. Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory since 1922. We've been part of the community, supporting you in the moments of celebration and loss.
Just like a team, we understand the value of traditions and the love that binds us together.
So whether it's cheering for a win or celebrating a life well lived, remember we are here for you.
Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family owned, family focused.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, just coming out of the Bryan Ford Lincoln timeout. Bryan Ford Lincoln, North Main Street. Bryan, where good values mean a great deal. Main stop scoreboard shows the Golden Bears in favor of Van Wert 24-10. They had a 18-4 lead, and then it was 20-4, and then 2 quick threes by Van Wert made it 20-10, and then the Bears have gotten the last 4.
Yeah, the 3-point shot can get you back into it in a hurry, and I think Van Wert has found a couple of mismatches on the outside where the guards have gotten some looks. But the flip side of that, I think Bryan has done a really nice job with Sam Harold and Carter Dominic of finding the mismatches on their offensive end and exploiting them. So this is where the coaching piece comes into play of where's your mismatch at, what's your best lineup.
Bears will inbound after the quick jump ball, and we're going to see Landon Bassett check into the game, the junior. Langendorfer has it right wing. Hands off to Jessing. Jessing works around a screen from Carter Dominic. Runs into trouble, but he puts the shot up anyway. It rattles, no good. Rebound knocked out of bounds, and that'll go off of Maddox Langendorfer's hands. I like the set there. Just couldn't get it to fall.
Yeah, and Gavin Jessing made a nice move. He squared himself up. He took a nice balanced shot. Just didn't go, but it's certainly a quality look.
All right, Van Wert will bring it up with Keaton Welch, their 5'10 freshman all-star. He'll go left side. Now back to him on the right wing. He's working against Jessing. He looks to drive, puts up a shot with the right hand. No good. Rebound tipped around, comes down to the Bears, and they're going to call a foul on the rebound. And that's going to be on number 5, Rylan Miller. That'll be his team first of the quarter. So the Bears will once again inbound it underneath Van Wert's basket, and Van Wert will put that pressure on.
Yeah, he looks like Coach Laudick has to pick and choose his times to press. Not a bunch, just man-to-man, but at least pick them up full court, hopefully disrupt the Bears' offense. That's got to be the thought process.
Langendorfer gives it to Sam Harold. Now top of the key to Carter Dominic. It's knocked out of bounds off of Keaton Welch. Welch trying to get in front of that pass to Carter Dominic. Bears will inbound. They get it. Langendorfer has to chase it down in the backcourt, and he's working against Bragg. He'll run it down, give it down to Gavin Jessing, left block. Count it, and the foul. Gavin Jessing stood on the left block, put up a nice shot, and boom, it goes, and it's 26-10.
You know, that play was made possible by Maddox Langendorfer because he got into the paint, and a lot of times kids make mistakes of just trying to go to the basket as hard as they can. The minute Maddox saw Gavin's defender step up, now he didn't step over, he stepped up. The minute he stepped up, he made a nice pass, allowed Gavin the opportunity to score there. So a really nice play by Maddox.
All right, Gavin will try to complete the three-point play. He does. Another Welling Construction free throw for the Bears. And Gavin has 5 points on the night. Bears go into a full court pressure defense. Gage Steeman is down by himself, though, gets it. And now they'll run their half-court offense. Caden Schaefer launches a 3, got it. That's 2 for him.
That young man can shoot the basketball.
Yes, he can, and they aren't contested, and they aren't bad-looking. They're beautiful.
Yeah, Van Wert has done a nice job of making 2 defenders play 1 and getting that kick-out 3. They've done that about 6 or 7 times tonight.
Kepler has the basketball. We'll give it to Sam Harold on the left side. Harold tries to work around the screen. Yeah, that goes up to put up a shot. No good. Rebound will come down to Gage Steeman. No second chance for the Bears that time. Schaefer brings it down quickly. Gives to Welch. Welch launches a 3. No good. Rebound comes down to Gavin Jessing. He skied for that one. Did a nice job of getting that rebound. And now they'll give it to Kepler. Van Wert will meet him with Welsh at the timeline. He crosses over, gives to Sam Harold. Harold back to Kepler, standing on the Brian B. Kepler will go right to Langendorfer. Now right back to Kepler. Kepler looks to drive, back to Langendorfer. Langendorfer, back to Kepler. Bears in no hurry. Bears looking for a good shot. Kepler will come through the key, though. Immediately meet 2 Bryan Golden Bears, and they're going to call the foul. Oh, Ryan Heller is going to call the travel. That was a good call.
Yeah, it was. And a little surprised that Bryan slowed it down. I mean, they've had a tempo, they've had a nice flow, and all of a sudden, you know, they had 3 kids that are 28, 29 feet away from the basket. Be interesting if they try to get back into a little more quicker paced offense. They've been so much more successful with that.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. Van Wert will bring it down. Rylan Miller has it in the corner. He'll skip across it over to Caden Schaefer. Now 3-ball in the corner again is good. And Gage Steeman will pick up the 3, and he's got 4 points on the night, 27-16. 3-ball has been Van Wert's bread and butter right now.
It has.
12 off of it, right?
And it was the same thing. The offensive player took the dribble into the middle. He forced someone's defender to step off on them, leaving a wide open 3-point shot.
Carter Dominic will go inside, put up a shot, no good with contact. It's going to be number 5, Rylan Miller. That'll be his third team foul of the quarter, and that'll put Carter Dominic to line for a pair of Welling Construction free throws. Welling Construction, a third-generation family-owned general contractor for quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact us at 419-636-3712. And just as I read that, I lie. They said he wasn't shooting.
Called it on the floor.
So I'm 1 ahead, Sean. Bears have it. Kepler with it, working against Keaton Welsh. Get it underneath to Gavin Jessing, then he'll hand back up. And now a nice basket by Jace Kepler, who isolated himself at the left block and put it up and in.
Bryan loves that 1-4 high offense and bringing that second cutter around the ball. That's the second time they've gotten that look today.
Welch will hand off to Caden Schaefer. Schaefer has it left side. And he'll back it up in between the circles, and now he'll head to the right side. Give over to Haggerty. Haggerty working against Carter Dominic. They'll hand off, and we're going to get a foul on Carter Dominic as Keaton Welch tried to get around him, and contact was made. That'll be first on Carter Dominic. And that'll bring in Dylan Koenig. 29-16 Bears with 45 seconds here in the half. They get it underneath to Miller. Miller working against Gavin Jessing. Cross-court it. Now Welch has it. Welch working on Dylan Koenig, and now we're going to get a blocking foul on Koenig. So that's going to be 2 on Koenig, and that'll be the third team foul of the quarter. See, I got the in the half thing. It's in the quarter.
Well, 36 seconds left. Be interesting if Van Wert wants to play for the last shot. If they do, Bryan has a foul to give before they get to that 5th foul. So I would think if they get it anywhere under.
And that's just knocked away.
Won't make a difference, will it?
Oh, Dylan Koenig knocked that away. Koenig, 15 seconds to go. Working against Welch. Gives to Sam Harold. 8 seconds. Gavin Jessing puts up a shot at the foul line. No good. Rebound comes down to Van Wert. They're going to rush. 3 ball in the air for Welch is no good. And at the end of the first half of play, the main stop scoreboard shows 29-16 here. And before we send it to break, we'll just recap this just a little bit. Bears got up to a pretty big lead. The 3-point ball has been something that has kept Van Wert in this, though.
Yeah, that's been it. Bryan's been able to build that lead with really good offensive execution, hitting the offensive boards. I think they have 8 or 9 offensive boards for the half. Van Wert did a really nice job in the second quarter. They started to get that drive and kick out open 3. They knocked down 3 or 4 of those. Teams keep themselves in games with a 3-point shot. So now as they go into halftime, let's see what adjustments both coaches make.
And that's got to be something that Coach Homeyer has to make an adjustment on. You know, you're trying to double down Keaton Welch, the freshman, and that always leaves the guy open.
It does, and this is where you got to figure out as a coach. The game of basketball is pretty simple, Chris. You find your mismatches. And so when Bryan plays Sam Harold and Gavin Jessing and Maddox or Carter Brown at the same time, it's a nightmare matchup for Van Wert because there's someone they can't guard on the inside. On the flip side of that, on the defensive end, they play basically 5 guards. That means there's 1 or 2 kids that Bryan has a difficult time matching up with. The difference is the matchup problem for Van Wert is in the paint. The matchup problem for Bryan is outside the 3-point line.
Outside the 3-point arc. So that's kind of where it is. 29-16, your score at halftime. Going to take this time out, come back with halftime stats and more after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Why do so many people travel to Jason East Automotive Services in Edgerton when they want their vehicles repaired? Because Dave Brown and Sam Bailey have over 60 years of experience fixing the problems that other mechanics couldn't. They work on all makes and models, and they specialize on imports. Recently, they have expanded their service area by almost 50%, and they've hired Eston Knerk to their staff. So if you have a vehicle, foreign or domestic, that you want fixed right the first time, take it to Jason Dietsch Automotive Services on the east side of Edgerton.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. So if you want to talk to your kids, you got to get it trending. I was just trying to get your attention.
Could I just asked me?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network. Chris Malanga, Tim Meister here with you. It's halftime. The main stop scoreboard shows 29-16 in favor of the Golden Bears. The main stops are open when you need them. You're always near a main stop. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday every Thursday, the main stops of Northwest Ohio. And good basketball game for the Golden Bears early on.
Yeah, really what Coach Homeyer wanted. They got a very fast start. They had a really nice flow to the offense. They hit the offensive boards. I have to believe everything he talked about executing before this game started, for the most part, it went his way in the first half.
All right, let's take a look at some individual stats as we're getting them there, and then we're going to get the rest of the stats here. Let's take a look at Bryan because
sure,
she's got those done first.
Sure, for Bryan. They're led by Jace Kepler with 10, followed by Carter Dominic with 6, Langendorfer with 4, and Harold with 4. For Van Wert, Steeman has 4, Schaefer has 3, Campbell has 3, and Bragg has 6. So again, pretty balanced scoring on both sides of the ball. Nice to see Bryan have 5 kids in the scoring column.
Absolutely. And Van Wert trails 29-16. They're going to take another timeout. We'll come back with more after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
To the Bryan Golden Bear fans, those who made donations to the cause,
to the school board and administration, and everyone who played a role in this project.
we just want to say thank you.
Phase 2 of the capital improvement project includes field upgrades at Rec Park, a new softball field, and revitalization of soccer fields on the former Washington school property, and renewal of practice fields on the BCS campus. Let's finish the project and build champions.
Go Bears! Bryan Bill!
Here at the Williams County Veteran Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, stop in today and see how we can help you at the Williams County Veteran Service Office.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, halftime 29-16 Bears. Let's take a look at our halftime stats here, and we already gave you the individual stats, but here's your stats overall. Van Wert is 5 of 20 from the field, 5 of 15 from 3, which means they're 0 for 2 points. That's interesting there.
They are 0 for 5 from 2.
1 of 2 from the line. They have 4 turnovers and 3 bench points. The Golden Bears are 12 of 28 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3, 5 of 5 from the line. Perfect on the Welling Construction free throws, which is something that's really, really important. 2 turnovers and 4 bench points. And so, Golden Bears holding their own. And, boy, that 3-point line has been very beneficial for Van Wert. They've taken a lot of them, though.
And I think that's the way they have to play just because of their size. They really don't have a true post player. And Coach Laudick's done a really nice job of making Bryan's defense spread out, especially in the second quarter. I thought he made a really nice adjustment. Plus, if you play that way and you're forced to play that way, your rebounds from threes tend to be long, and that kind of neutralizes the size disadvantage that they may have.
They do. Well, Chris Malanga and Tim Meister here with you. And, we talk about coaching adjustments at halftime, and you got to believe that this is not something that Van Wert's going to come out in the second half and go 0 for underneath. They're not going to shoot at that high a percentage. So what do the Bears have to do to be ready, I guess?
Well, you ask yourself, what do we take the first half to set up for the second half? If you're Bryan, you're talking about stepping out and defending those 3-point shooters. So if you're Van Wert, you say, we know they're going to do that. So now we're just thinking shot fakes, get the ball to the basket, see if we can use our quickness to get by them. For Bryan, it's flip-flop. Hey, we know with certain lineups they can't defend us inside, so let's continue to pound the ball inside. And we don't have to score if they catch it in the post, but if we catch it in the post, that sure brings an awful lot of attention. Now that opens up some of those backdoor cuts. That opens up some of those wide-open jump shots because you're having to double down. So that's the chess match of what they're going to do. Now on Van Wert's side, talking about defensively, if you know that Bryan's going to start pounding the ball down on the block when they find the mismatch, do you double? Do you see if your kids can handle one-on-one? Do you try to double from the backside or the ball side? So there's a whole lot of different things that you're going to try to make adjustments just to make the other team uncomfortable offensively.
Absolutely, and it's been a good game so far for the Golden Bears. Probably one of their most productive games shooting-wise.
Now here's what's interesting. They had 8 offensive rebounds in the first quarter. They did not have an offensive rebound in the second quarter.
So Van Wert made some adjustments there.
Van Wert made some adjustments, and I think part of that too is Bryan made some shots, so it wasn't necessarily the opportunities for offensive rebounds. But yes, Van Wert made a nice adjustment. And I thought, as I mentioned, not a criticism, I thought at times Bryan started to get a little stagnant on offense in the second quarter. They got a little far from the basket. You saw Coach do a really nice job of saying, okay, we're going to run a set now because I got to get them used to moving. I got to get them going. I want to try to get something else. So I think Bryan will probably try to hit the offensive glass. That's probably been talked about at halftime.
All right, I want to thank our sponsors bringing you the game. They include Andrews, O'Neill & Lowe, the Bryan Parks and Rec, Fackler Monument, Newcomer, Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger, Oberlin, Turnbull, Funeral Home and Crematory, Veterans Services of Williams County, the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Danielle Van Atta Agency, Jason Dietsch Automotive Services, Northwest State Community College, and Starks Plumbing and Heating. Let's take a look at our upcoming schedule here on the Golden Bear Sports Network. It shakes down like this. We're going to be at Patrick Henry next Thursday night as the Lady Bears will head there and try to pick up stay undefeated in the NWOAL. Then we will be back here on Friday night for a game against Patrick Henry on the boys' side. We're going to be doing that as we go along here. A lot of league games where we're having both the boys and the girls game back-to-back. We also will have Fairview at Bryan on Saturday, a week from today at 7 o'clock. And then the following week, we're going to do some swim and dive for Bowling Green, which is exciting to do. And then back here or at Liberty Center for the girls' basketball game. That should be a good one on the 1st of February. No one covers Williams County sports like 100.9 B-Rock. Follow the Bryan Golden Bears all season long on Q96.5. Listen on air or online at WBNOWQCT.com. All right, I think I'm caught up on the live reads and everything, and we'll just tell you the main stop scoreboard shows 29-16. Main stops open when you need them. You're always near a main stop. Don't forget Thirsty Thursday, every Thursday, the main stops of Northwest Ohio. Okay, keys for each team in the first half of the third quarter.
For Bryan is, go with the lady who took you to the dance. Go to the offensive boards, keep crashing, keep being aggressive on offense and getting it going. I think they'll probably maintain that 2-2-1 press. That seemed to get Van Wert a little bit out of their offensive rebound. For Van Wert, again, it's, like I said, get that defense spread out. If you can get your draw and dump threes, or if not, get the ball to the basket. And one of the things we didn't talk about, what a terrific job Bryan's perimeter players did on Welch from Van Wert. Their leading scorer, they held him scoreless in the first half. So from Van Wert's perspective, they may try to get him going a little bit with some sets or something to get, get him to the basket, something so he can see the ball go through the hoop to get himself rolling.
All right, 29-16 on the main stop scoreboard. Main stops open when you need them. You're always near a main stop. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday, every Thursday, the main stops of Northwest Ohio. Van Wert gets the ball to start the second half of play. Keaton Welch gets the inbound, and he'll run it up. Schaefer has it now, top of the key, looking to get Welch one-on-one. They get underneath. Colin Haggerty turns, fires, no good. Rebound comes down to the Golden Bears, Sam Harold.
And that was a really good offensive set by Van Wert. They got the look they wanted. He just didn't make it.
Cross court, Carter Brown now has it. Carter Brown will come top of the key, working against Gage Steeman. Brown will get it off and give it to Jessing. Jessing hands off to Jace Kepler. Kepler has the basketball. He'll give over to Sam Harold. Kepler has it again. Now back to Harold. Bears being very patient here. They fired underneath to Gavin Jessing. Turns, nice move, shot off glass, no good. Rebound comes down to Rylan Miller though. And Van Wert's running. Here's Welch. Welch will kick out. Caden Schaefer. Now back to Welch, who launches a three, no good. Rebound comes down, knocked out of bounds, and will stay right here. As they said, it went off of Carter Dominic's hands. That was close.
They might have went to the replay board in the NBA on that one.
Van Wert will get it inbounded over to Keaton Welch. Welch still has 0 points, the leading scorer for the Cougars. Steeman with the basketball on the right side. They get it to Rylan Miller, and now we're going to get a foul on Sam Harold in the key. Maybe that's not Sam. Let me see who they whistle that on. It is Sam. Got to go with my first gut. That'll be his second. Maddox Langendorfer will check back in for Carter Brown. They feed it in to Rylan Miller. Miller will bounce pass, and now we should have it. Ooh. They're going to get a foul on the Golden Bears on Maddox Langendorfer. Wow. Looked like a travel.
Backside official never hesitated, so he may have saw something we didn't.
All right, well, they're going to give it to him here on the near sideline, right in front of the Van Wert bench. Haggerty will look to inbound. He gets it to Welch. Welch working against Langendorfer. Welch will dish underneath to Haggerty, then back out to Welch. Welch at the foul line. Then he'll hand off and it gets to Cage Steeman, who misses the shot, and the Bears will get the rebound and bring it up. Still lead 29-16.
You know, Van Wert, all their shots in this quarter, maybe except for one, have all been in the paint. So they have come off drive, they've come off cuts. So you can see what their game plan is to try to get some points in the paint on drives.
Nice move there by Jace Kepler, putting it up and in.
Great move by Jace. Little up and under, got his defender up in the air and ducked under him.
They give it over to Caden Schaefer, and he misses the three. That's a rare miss for Schaefer, and that'll stay right here. Schaefer has 6 points, both three-pointers. He was by himself on the left wing. They get it underneath. Nice positioning for Van Wert, and the shot is missed. And we're going to get a foul called. Could be anybody. It's going to be called on Gavin Jessing. Jessing was in the region. Carter Dominic was in the region. Jace Kepler was in the region. Pick your poison.
Pick your poison. Van Wert ran a really nice out of bounds play. They caught the Bears on a switch, and 24 got the inside position.
First one is up and good. These are two Welling Construction free throws.
I've been really impressed with Van Wert at the start of this quarter. They have run some great sets. They forced Bryan to either switch or have to chase the cutter, which has caused them to get some good shots. So nice adjustments by Coach Laudick at half.
Next one is no good, and we're going to get a lane violation. They're going to say Carter Dominic came in the lane too early. I noticed that he moved before the ball was out of the hands. So what is the rule? The rule is out of his hands you can move?
Yes, as soon as the ball leaves his hands.
Foul shot is missed. Rebound comes down to Carter Brown, and he will find Jace Kepler. He was double teamed down there. Now Kepler will slow down and let everybody by. He'll have it.
See if the Bears expose a mismatch. Sammy Harold has a young man guarding him is going to have a really difficult time if Sammy gets anywhere in the paint.
Harold has it, puts up the shot, up and good. There, you talked about it, you called it.
Yeah, it really is about trying to find your mismatches, and that's a great job by Bryan finding that one.
Keaton Welch will bring it down, spin move through the key, no good, rebound. He gets his own rebound, puts it up and in. That's the first points for Keaton Welch, the leading scorer, and they come with 5:16 remaining in the third quarter.
Yeah, now that he see one go through, let's see if he gets on a roll.
Bears have it, bring it up with Kepler. Kepler will give to Sammy Harold. Harold working against Caden Schaefer. Now top of the key to Carter Dominic, and it gets knocked out of bounds, and Carter was having a discussion with Jace Kepler. Carter thought Jace was going to cut one way, and Kepler didn't. That's an unforced turnover right there. Keaton Welch has it. Trying to get free. Underneath, stolen away by Kepler. Kepler will give to Carter Dominic, and then Sam Harold takes it from him.
And they got the same mismatch on Sam. Let's see if they try to exploit it one more time.
Kepler has it, gives to Sam. Sam will go through the key, put up a shot. It is no good. Lots of contact underneath. Rebound will come down to Van Wert, and they're running quickly. Ryland Miller has it. Now he'll slow down, wet for traffic to come by. Colin Haggerty now back inside. Put up a shot, no good. Oh, it is good. 33-21, and Coach Komeyer wants to talk about it. It's going to be a full timeout. The timeouts today sponsored by Bryan Ford Lincoln, North Main Street, Bryan, where good values mean a great deal. 4:15 remaining third quarter. Back after this on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
Discover tremendous scholarship opportunities at Northwest State. Over the past 2 years, we have awarded nearly $2 million in foundation scholarships. That's free money for college. Don't miss out. Apply today.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead. STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. The only limit is your imagination. Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, we're in a Bryan Ford Lincoln timeout, North Main Street, Bryan, where good values mean a great deal. And Coach Homeyer called that one. He didn't want to let things get out of hand here.
Yeah, it was a really good timeout by Coach Homeyer. Get your kids settled back down, remind them the things that made them successful in the first half, get them back to doing that, maybe come out, run your favorite set, find your mismatch that you really like and get it there. And on Van Wert's end, they've changed the way they play. Their style is different. They now are getting everything in the paint on dribble drives and cuts. So that's the adjustment chess match. Both coaches are back to playing.
All right, Harold will inbound here A tall inbound to Carter Dominic, and it's knocked away, almost knocked away. Now they get it underneath to Gavin Jessing, who puts up a hard shot, no good. And now we're going to get a foul on Gavin Jessing on the rebound. That was disastrous. They threw it into Carter Dominic, who had two guys on him. Caden Schaefer had his hand on it, but fell backwards. And Bears able to take advantage there, but they went hard to the basket. That was designed exactly that way. That was not an audible. That was the way it was written up.
That went from junk to gold, back to junk.
Haggerty with the basketball now for Van Wert. They trail 33-21. Gives it over to Keaton Welch. Welch bounce pass back to Haggerty. Haggerty looks to go left side. Then he'll give to Cohen Bragg. Now back to Welch. Welch looks to drive, working against Kepler. That's a good matchup right there.
Yeah,
now he'll kick it out to Caden Schaefer.
Jace has done a really terrific job on Welch tonight.
Haggerty looks to back his way in. Puts up a shot. Carter Dominic jumped too early. 10-point lead now for the Bears. 3:31 remaining here. Third quarter.
Once again, Van Wert getting a bucket in the paint.
Yep. That's something they didn't do at all in the first half. Harold will bring it up. Gives it over to Sam, or give it over to Kepler rather. Back to Sam. Sam looks to drive. Dishes to Maddox Langendorfer, puts it up, and they're going to call a foul, and that's going to be on Keaton Welch. That'll be his first foul of the game. No, they didn't. They called that on Cohen Bragg. That's his third.
Oh, that's a big call.
That is a big call.
Especially with the Van Wert's limited bench.
Bears inbound it. Harold has it on the right wing. Now gives to Carter Dominic. Now to Kepler. Bears are not in real hurry here. They want to get a good possession, get some points, but they have a lead, and they need to play with a lead. Nice cut by by Kepler, and he gets the foul. Nice move there. It went inside to Maddox Langendorfer. Langendorfer was too far into the basket, found Kepler, and Kepler put it up, missed it, got a rebound, and then got another miss.
Good to see the Bears get back on the offensive glass, give themselves a second chance, see if they can capitalize.
First one for Kepler is up and good. This is a Welling Construction free throw. Welling Construction, a third-generation family-owned general contractor for quality custom homes, renovation projects, and commercial work. Contact them at 419-636-3712. Welling Construction. Second one, no good. Rebound will come down to Haggerty. Haggerty runs it down. Gives it to Cohen Bragg. Bragg back to Haggerty. Haggerty underneath. Will give out. Schaefer. Schaefer thought about a three, then pulled it back. Haggerty with it, feeds it underneath. They're down low under the basket. They'll give it back now. Schaefer will launch another three, no good. Rebound comes down to Gavin Jessing. They isolated their shooter in the left corner and just couldn't put it down.
They've done a really nice job of getting into the paint, and then they're not scoring in there. They're getting the kick out for nice three-point shots.
Underneath to Jessing, and Jessing is going to be fouled as he was going up to shoot. So Jessing will head the line for a pair of Welling Construction free throws, and Gavin is shooting 79% from the foul line.
You know, this is the lineup in the first half, I believe, that gave Van Wert the most trouble. Yep. Because you have the ability to post Jessing, Harold, or Carter Dominic, and again, forcing a guard to defend someone in the post.
First one is up and good. Next one for Jessing. That one is good too. 36-23, 13-point lead on the main stop scoreboard with 2:12 remaining here. Third quarter, Bears lead. Haggerty with it. He's been holding the ball a lot more this half than he did in the first. Another one for Caden Schaefer, three ball. That one rattles in and out. Rebound comes down to Gavin Jessing. Jessing is double teamed, running into some trouble, and he's able to get rid of it. Kepler will bring it over the timeline. Forgot to realize that 10-second call includes the 5 that he almost wasted there. They had to get down quickly. Jessing with it. Jessing turns, puts up a shot. It is no good. Rebound comes down. It's on the floor. It'll go out of bounds, and it'll go to Van Wert. Gage Steeman and Griff McCracken, which is a great basketball name. Check into the name.
It's a great basketball name.
All right, Carter Brown checks back into the game. Coach Homeyer had a word with Gavin Jessing there. And this is interesting as Schaefer brings up the ball. Schaefer getting double teamed. They leave McCracken open, who launches a three, no good. Rebound comes down, and we're going to get a foul on the rebound. And that might be on Welch. No, it's not. They called that on Colin Haggerty. Coach Loddick is demonstrating what he was doing with his hands up. It's not so much the hands as much as the hip check. That's the problem.
McCracken's a man after my own heart. He's in the game for less than 10 seconds. He gets a three jumper off. I love it.
Bears have it. Kepler with the basketball. We'll give it to Sam Harold. They cross-court it over to Langendorfer. Langendorfer working against Steeman. Working against Steeman. Comes inside. Last-minute kick out. And the Bears will reset it. I like this. Use some clock. Kepler with it. 43 seconds to play third quarter. Kepler dishes. Now back to Sam Harold.
Yeah. Looks like Bryan's going to hold for the last.
And we're going to get a foul on Keaton Welch. And Jace Kepler took something he learned probably in drama school, drama class there with the head shot, the head fake there.
You know, that's where your 5 fouls each quarter comes into play, because under last year's rules, this would have just been ball out of bounds.
Yep.
Now instead, it's 2-shot free throw, correct, Chris?
It is, 2-shot free throw. First one for Kepler's up and good.
And that's so tough for your Van Wert. You've climbed so far back into this game, and it's just a possession. Let's try to defend and not let them score, and then you cause a foul 28 feet away. Now you put them at the line.
They get two.
That's a huge swing.
Yep. 38-23, 15-point lead for the Bears. 30 seconds to play. Third quarter. Welch with it. Welch loses the basketball, and they're going to get a foul on Langendorfer. I don't know about that one.
You know, the one thing about the officials, they've been very consistent. Inside, they've kind of let some of that stuff go. Anything on the outside with hand checks or reaches, they have called consistently very, very tight.
So this is the 5 team fouls for the Bears. So now Welch will head to the line to shoot 2. 26 seconds to play here, third quarter.
It's just the opposite of what I said. If you're Bryan, the last thing you want to do is foul. You know, you just extended your lead, back to 15. Let's just play really good, solid defense. So
Welch missed the first one. Next one rattles home. 26.9 to go. Third quarter. They get it underneath. Langendorfer with it. Langendorfer trapped. We'll give it to Kepler. Kepler will dribble it over the timeline. Bears going to play for the last shot here. Again. Harold with it. Now back to Kepler. 10 seconds to play. Now baseline. Maddox Langendorfer will dish to Sam Harold, who launches a three. No good. Rebound comes down to Carter Dominic. He launches an off-balance three. Hits the rim, but no good. And at the end of the third quarter of play, the main stop scoreboard shows 38-24 in favor of the Golden Bears. Going to take this timeout, come back with the last 8 minutes on the Golden Bears Sports Network.
To the Bryan Golden Bear fans, those who made donations to the cause,
to the school board and administration, and everyone who played a role in this project. We just want to say
thank you.
Phase 2 of the capital improvement project includes field upgrades at Rec Park, a new softball field, and revitalization of soccer fields on the former Washington school property, and renewal of practice fields on the BCS campus. Let's finish the project and build champions.
Go Bears! Bryan Bill!
Discover tremendous scholarship opportunities at Northwest State. Over the past 2 years, we have awarded nearly $2 million in foundation scholarships. That's free money for college. Don't miss out. Apply today.
Nobody likes an awkward silence. You can actually use it for something good.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, fourth quarter action. The Bears lead 38-24. It was a 13-point lead at halftime, a 14-point lead now. That's got to be positive.
Great. Yeah, it is, because Van Wert made a really nice run at the beginning. Bryan stymied the run, had one of their own. A key stat here, Bryan is 10 for 11 from the free throw line. Van Wert is 4 for 6. So Bears getting the line more often than Van Wert, and that really helps.
Harold with the basketball. And they give back to Langendorfer and then to Kep. Carter Dominic has it. He'll hand off to Sam Harold. Harold will give to Jessing. Jessing in the key, gets tipped away, and Dominic will pick it up. Dominic works his way into a double team. Now Kepler has it.
I'd like to see Bryan make an effort here to get it inside to Gavin Jessing.
Yep.
He has a mismatch that Bryan wants all night.
Underneath, now back out to Harold. Now to Kepler. Kepler looks to drive, gives to Jessing. Jessing loses the basketball out of bounds, and that'll be a turnover for the Golden Bears. They tried to do what you wanted.
Yeah, that's one where, again, it's philosophical, but I sure would have liked to see Gavin Jessing just post up on the block that entire possession because they were playing behind him. He has about a 4 or 5 inch height advantage, and just pound it down into him and let him work.
38-24, 7:05 remaining in the game. Bears lead on the Main Stop scoreboard. Main Stop open when we need them. You're always near Main Stop. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday every Thursday. Keaton Welch has it. We'll give over to Cohen Bragg. Bragg looks to drive, then dish out. 3 ball in the air, good. Caden Schaefer, he's got 3 of those.
He does. He looks very comfortable shooting them.
He does. Harold will inbound. Give to Kepler. Kepler will get it over the timeline, work it against Welch. Kepler has it. They'll go left side. Langendorfer. Now back to Carter Dominic, top of the key, back to Kepler. Kepler working against Welch, and Welch going to pick up a foul. That's one that, I mean, you're working against one of Bryan's better players. You're poking at the ball, but...
And you know the officials have made that call at the perimeter all night.
They have. Again, you're exactly right. They have decided they're going to call everything on the outside, and in the paint they're going to let them play.
Yep. And, probably as being a freshman, those are growing pains. You have to learn that. Those are things that veteran players think about, and freshmen don't always.
They quickly get it Carter Dominic on the right block. He gets in and out of the key. Now they bounce pass it over to Kepler.
Sammy Harold's got a mismatch on him again.
He's calling for it, too. Langendorfer puts it up. No good. Rebound will come down to Rylan Miller. Got some time off the clock, but no points. You want points every time, but the clock is also an enemy right now.
At this point, though, a 2 or 3 by Van Wert, all of a sudden it's a single-digit game, and the last thing you want to do is make your kids hesitant or get them out of the flow.
Jump ball as Maddox Langendorfer came in and held it on Colin Haggerty. Dylan Koenig going to check back into the game. Kepler going to get a little break. Landon Sudduth comes in, the 5'9" sophomore for the Cougars, and Welch comes back in as well. Welch across court over to Caden Schaefer, launches another 3. That one's no good. Rebound comes down to Carter Dominic, and that is going to be a foul on Colin Haggerty. The difference there is Haggerty had his arm around his back to get it. So the Bears will have it with an 11-point lead, 5:41 remaining here, fourth quarter. Harold will give in to Langendorfer, then right back to Harold. Van Wert will pull everybody back except Schaefer working against Harold. Harold falls down. Poking it away for the Bears is Dylan Koenig.
Nice hustle play by Dylan. Those are types of plays.
Oh, they're going to get a foul on Koenig. Oh my goodness. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't know if I like the call, but I still like the play by Dylan Koenig.
I do.
Those are plays that don't show up in stat books, but this game gets to a close game. Remember, that's a 2 that they would have gotten uncontested except without Dylan's hustle play.
3 ball in the air, no good. Rebound comes down, and it's contested, but Sam Harold will come out with it. And now Kepler will bring it up. Kepler gives to Harold across the timeline. Bounce pass to Jessing. He'll go baseline, put it up, no good. Rebound comes down to the Cougars, Caden Schaefer. I'll take that look all night.
All night.
3 ball in the air for Bragg is good, and Coach Homeyer wants a timeout, as it is now a 8-point game, 38-30. with 4:58 remaining here. And we're just going to keep this one right here, and we'll chat about it.
Yeah, this is one where we talked about it. Seems like Bryan's offense has kind of slowed down. They've thrown in a couple turnovers, a couple missed shots. Van Wert hits a couple of threes, and all of a sudden now you have an 8-point contest, which is a 3-possession game with how they shoot the threes. So types of things Brock's going to talk to his kids about is, okay, where do we want the ball to go? And to me, Chris, that's a twofold conversation. Where do we want it to go as far as where do we want the shot at? And maybe more importantly is, who do we want to take this shot? Who can get to the basket? Because right now we need to stem the flow. We need to get a basket, get back on defense, make sure we're solidified down there, not being in transition defense. So that conversation down there, like I said, is the type of shot, who's going to get the shot, and where they're going to get the shot at. If you're Van Wert, do what you're doing. You got Brian a little frustrated, continue to get the ball into the paint and kick out, continue to look to score inside the paint. Those are all things they're doing well, so I don't think they want to make a whole lot of adjustments.
Timeout sponsored by Bryan Ford Lincoln, North Main Street. Brian, where good values mean a great deal. And I want to correct myself. The timeout was called by Coach Laudick of Van Wert, not Coach Homeyer. I think Coach Homeyer wanted to call one too, but they gave it. They pointed in the direction of Coach Laudick. Kepler gets the inbound pass. Bears are running up the court. He gets over the timeline working against Caden Schaefer. Gives to Sam Harold. Harold gives to Carter Brown. Brown gives to Sam Harold. Sam will give underneath to Dominic. Dominic back out to Carter Brown. Now back to Harold. Harold will give it over to Brown, and now they'll reset with Kepler. Kepler. And they throw it too soft to Sam Harold, and it's going to be a 3-ball the other end, and it's good by Caden Schaefer. That cannot happen. It's a 5-point game.
Now you're down to a 2-possession game.
Kepler has it all the way, loses the basketball, and they're going to say it went off of Kepler. I don't understand that at all. Ball goes out of bounds.
Yeah, the underneath officials explained to Coach Homeyer that he hit the ball and the ball went off of Jace's body. From our standpoint, it certainly looked like there was some contact, Chris, but again, we don't have the same vantage point that he does.
All right, Bears need to really step it up here on the defensive end. Keaton Welch with the basketball. 3-ball in the air for Cohen Bragg is no good. Rebound comes down, and we're going to get a foul. And Brown will be the recipient of the foul from Rylan Miller. That's 4 on Rylan Miller, but more importantly, it's 3 team fouls in the quarter. So the Bears have had the worst trouble with getting the ball in.
Yeah.
On the far end.
And Van Wert did a nice job of making someone other than Jace Kepler bring it up the floor.
They get into Langendorfer. We're going to get a foul, and that's going to be on Cohen Bragg.
And defensively, when you force someone other than the other team's point guard to bring up the floor, it's not that your other kids can't, it's a comfort level.
Yep.
They're so used to Jace bringing it up, being comfortable with it. When you force someone else to do it, it just gets you out of your rhythm. So really nice job by Van Wert of forcing that upon Bryan.
Gage Steeman checks back in. They get it into Kepler. Kepler getting face guarded by Keaton Welch. Now he's double teamed. He gets over the timeline. And we're going to get a block call.
Good call.
On Keaton Welch.
Yeah, Van Wert went to a little run and jump there from the backside. Defender left his man. Double Jace. Nice job by Jace to split the double team and drawing contact.
And now that's the 5th team foul. So now the Bears will be shooting the rest of the way.
And Bryan's made a living at the line tonight. They've been terrific from there, so this could be a key factor.
First one for Kepler is good. Welling Construction free throws. (39-33). Next one for Kepler, rattles and good. Takes it up to a 2-possession ball game. Haggerty with the basketball. We'll give over to Cohen Bragg. Now to Welch. Welch will drive in.
Nice.
Underneath, shot, missed. Nice block. Bears save it. Bears have the possession. That was great right there.
Yeah, excellent defensive play by the Bears.
Carter Brown heads up play there. And we're going to get a timeout from Coach Homeyer. That's a good timeout right there, as Carter was in trouble in the sideline there. Another timeout here, the Bryan Ford Lincoln timeouts, and this one's just at 30, so we're going to keep it here again. And That was heads up right there.
Yeah, good timeout for two reasons. One, you had the trap on the sideline. I also think he wants to remind them, hey, we are in the bonus right now. Yep. So let's make sure we don't settle for 20-foot jumpers. Let's make sure we get good quality shots. Don't be afraid to get it to the basket because every foul, we go to the line now. So just be strong with the basketball.
40-33 on the main stop scoreboard. Main stops are open when you need them. You're always near a main stop. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday every Thursday, the main stop of Northwest Ohio. By the way, folks, you can keep up with all the Bryan Sports action by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Get notified when we go on the air for each game, too. Head to youtube.com/Bryan Sports and hit the subscribe button. And want to thank all of you that got us to 1,000 followers. And Van Wert nearly took that away. And we're going to get a foul, I think, called on Van Wert.
Yep. Yeah, nice job by Jace Kepler. Just what we talked about. He got the ball in the paint, very strong, went up, drew the foul. Here we are back at the foul line again. They just made an absolute living tonight.
They really have. Let's see. First one for Kep is no good. It's only the second foul shot they've missed tonight. Van Wert will try to extend this game, but every time they foul the Bears, it goes to the line. Next one, no good. Rebound comes down to Van Wert. So the first double miss for the Bears tonight. Welch will bring it down. Welch will drive it himself. Welch will put it up. No good. Rebound knocked around, and we're going to get a foul on the floor, and I think that might be on Carter Brown. It is.
Keaton Welch just cannot get the ball to go through tonight. He's had good looks. He's had more balls to every part of the rim and not go in. And for a freshman, he's done a nice job of keeping his composure. Continues to play through it.
All right, Van Wert looking to get it in, and that's a 5-second call. And he's a freshman. Is that a freshman mistake there? That's just good coverage by the Bears.
Yeah, that's a double thing. Nice job by Bryan covering, but that was an out-of-bounds play where there was no screen set. I'm not a fan of that because basically you're going to put your kids in a one-on-one situation and say we're better athletes than you. I don't think Van Wert's in that spot. They really needed a screen on that out-of-bounds play.
And there's a 5-second call the other way. Maddox and Langendorfer hit the deck. They wanted a foul. He didn't get it. Now Van Wert looking to get it. They get it in. Bounce pass, shot up, no good. Rebound comes down to Gavin Jessing. Under 3 minutes to play. Jessing will give to Kepler. Kepler will head up. Kepler will go coast to coast, give to Jessing, up and good. Gavin Jessing.
What a great pass by Jace Kepler.
That was amazing. Bragg with the basketball, gives it to Haggerty on the perimeter. Back out to Keaton Welch. Welch works it around to screen, goes inside, dishes over to Schaefer. Schaefer quickly has a guy in his face. When he's taken those threes, he hasn't had anybody in his face. And now they've been covering him. 2:26 to play. Blocking foul called by called on Carter Dominic as he was trying to reach in and grab that. That'll be 2 on him, 3 on the quarter. If you're the Bears, you got to be careful here. You don't want to put them on the line with no time not running.
And if you're Van Wert, you certainly don't want to rush shots, but you're in a situation where you cannot be overly patient either.
Yep. Welch will launch one. That's a 2, 42-35. Bears need to inbound here. They get it in to Jessing. Jessing will give it to Sam Harold, who made himself free. Underneath to Carter Dominic. Dominic, shot up and good, and the foul. Haggerty was right there. Carter stopped, waited for the contact, put up the shot at the same time, and that is 4 on Colin Haggerty, and now Carter Dominic will head to the line.
Back-to-back plays where the ball handler who broke the press got out front, made the right pass that time. It was Sam, and then great job by Carter Dominic of just being patient.
Carter Dominic trying to make this a 10-point lead for the Bears. It's good. 45-35, 2 minutes to play here. Bears need to D it up right here. Welch with it. Welch double team. They give to Haggerty, who launches a 3. It is no good. Rebound comes down to Van Wert. And now we're going to get a, they call a foul on the Bears. They did. That'll be on Dylan Koenig. Poor Dylan Koenig. 4 fouls already.
He just got stuck in the wrong place at the wrong time there.
They inbound. Haggerty with the basketball. Haggerty bounce passes to Schaefer. Now over to Welch. Top of the key. Welch will go left side to Ryland Miller. Now back. Haggerty to Welch on the right side now. They get it over to Caden Schaefer. Now back to Welch. Welch runs into Schaefer. Now Welch will try to drive through. He gets double teamed. They'll kick it out. 3 ball in the air for Bragg is no good. Rebound comes down, and that'll be Maddox Langendorfer. Langendorfer finds Sam Harold, puts it up and in! Sam Harold, 47-35.
3 straight possessions where they made the right pass that led to layups.
Welch puts it up and in. And a timeout called by Coach Laudick. It's going to be a 30-second timeout, a Bryan Ford Lincoln timeout, North Main Street, Bryan, where good values mean a great deal. 47-37. What's Coach Laudick saying right here?
Well, they have to foul. They don't have a choice. They got to pressure, and maybe they have time for one quick trap, but they have to foul right away. So for Bryan, be strong at the ball, make the free throws. Van Wert, if you get the turnover, score right away. Push the ball off the floor, get your first good look, because time is certainly a factor right now.
Absolutely. Well, it's under 2 minutes to play here, 47-37.
I think when Coach Holmeyer watches this film, the last 3 offensive possessions Bryan has had, and this is the maturity of a team, is when you tell your team is starting to take that step towards winning close games. The last 3 plays they have made, they have broken the press, and all 3 times they've made the right pass that's led to easy layups. This put 7 points on the board. Huge.
47-37. Bears lead. 1:08 to go on the main stop scoreboard. Bears will have the basketball. Bears will try to get it in. They give it to Langendorfer. Langendorfer will bring it up. Langendorfer triple teamed, and finally he gets fouled.
We'd like to see him not go on the floor.
Yeah, we would. I think maybe we want to see Gavin Justin in there.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would see Maddox fall on the floor. I want him on the floor.
I know.
I don't want him falling on the floor.
Right. And the way that they're going to quickly foul you, he may end up on the floor more than we'd like.
What a tough kid, huh?
Yep.
I mean, he has persevered through a whole bunch.
All right, Langendorfer will have 2 here. First one for Maddox. Ooh, rattles, no good. Looked good when he left his hand.
Nice job by Coach Laudick on offense for defense subs.
Next one. That one's no good. Rebound comes down, and it's contested. Van Wert will come out with it as we go under a minute to play. Welch tries to drive down quickly. Welch, they got to get a shot off.
Yeah.
They'll give to Schaefer. Schaefer looks to drive. Bumps underneath. Shot up. No good. Rebound knocked around and corralled by Kepler. And then a foul on Keaton Welch. And that'll be his 5th. So Keaton Welch will have a seat here with 45 seconds to play.
That's big.
Gage Steeman will check back in. Keaton Welch did not get his average. He's off the board now, so I can't tell real quick what he has, but Jace Kepler will go to the line. First one is good, thankfully.
Jace has 18 tonight, and I know there's people going to look at the box score, but let's talk about his leadership, his decision-making on offense, and his defending of Keaton Welch tonight. Terrific game by the senior.
That one's good, too. 49-37, 12-point ball game. They'll bring it up quickly. Caden Schaefer will give over to Bragg. Now Schaefer has it in the corner. Works underneath. Knocked out of bounds. It'll stay right here with 35.5 to go. And Gavin Jessing will come back in for Langendorfer. I think he saw Langendorfer hit the deck and thought maybe he wanted to get some bubble wrap on him while we go. Yeah. They get it underneath, or they get it in rather. Cohen Bragg has it. Now they go top of the key to Colin Haggerty. 3 ball in the air for Caden Schaefer is good. Kid doesn't miss.
He's been 15. Really good tonight.
Bears will bring it up quick. And we're going to get a timeout called by Coach Holmeyer. And I think that was a 30-second just to kind of talk about this right here. The last 23 seconds. Obviously, Van Wert's going to want to try to foul you and extend the game with a 9-point lead. Do they want to get the ball in somebody particular's hand? Do they want to?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you want to get the ball in the hands of your best free throw shooter. certainly a young man like Jace Kepler who handles the ball for you is going to be someone as Sammy Harold, those guys who have been through the battles with you. I think they also want to talk to them about being strong with the ball. You know you're going to get fouled. And sometimes officials are hesitant to call a foul in that situation, or they don't. So be extra strong with the basketball because you know you're going to get fouled, and then get yourself to the line.
All right, here we go. 23.2 to go. I think the Bears will have it right here in front of us. They get it to Kepler.
Yep, right
Kepler
hands.
gets over the timeline.
Yep. Like to see him just keep it in his hands.
Yep, agreed. He'll hand off to Brown. Brown looks to drive. Brown gives it to Kepler, top of the key, 11 seconds to play. And it looks like the Bears are going to be able to dribble this one out, 49-40. Bears will pick up win number 5.
Good win for Bryan.
Absolutely, 49-40. Your final score, and as the stats begin to get tabulated, let's talk about this one before we send it to break. Tim Meister, the second half it got a little closer than I think everybody would liked. I think Van Wert got it down to 5, but Bears play at the line was key. And what else did you see there in the second half for the Bears?
Well, I thought when Van Wert had to step up their pressure, Bryan did a really nice job of breaking the pressure and then making really good decisions once they got into the open court. They had some 2-on-1, 3-on-2s that seemed like they made the right pass and the right play every time. And the other thing, we just talked about it, you do not let the other team's best player beat you. Keaton Welch is their best player. I think he had 3 tonight. Jace Kepler and Dylan Koenig were phenomenal. And again, Chris, things that don't show up in the stat book or in the box score, that was the key, because I think if Keaton Welch has his normal game, 13 or 14, this is a little different ball game. So kudos to on the defensive end for Bryan, and not only for Jason Dillon, but they also had some tremendous help side when he did get into the paint. So overall, great effort by the Bears on the defensive end.
Main Stop scoreboard shows 49-40. Main Stop's open when you need them. You're always near a Main Stop. Don't forget about Thirsty Thursday, every Thursday. The Main Stops of Northwest Ohio. We're going to take a timeout. We are actually going to take a 90-second timeout, actually a 2-minute timeout. 2-minute timeout here for the radio station and for us. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, get our stats around, and get back with you. 2 minutes back after this on the Golden Bear Sports Network.
To the Bryan Golden Bear fans, those who made donations to the cause,
to the school board and administration, and everyone who played a role in this project. We just want to say
thank you.
Phase 2 of the capital improvement project includes field upgrades at Rec Park, a new softball field, and revitalization of soccer fields on the former Washington school property, and renewal of practice fields on the BCS campus. Let's finish the project and build champions.
Go Bears! Bryan Bill!
Why do so many people travel to Jason Eats Automotive Services in Edgerton when they want their vehicles repaired? Because Dave Brown and Sam Bailey have over 60 years of experience fixing the problems that other mechanics couldn't. They work on all makes and models, and they specialize on imports. Recently, they have expanded their service area by almost 50%, and they've hired Eston Knurk to their staff. So if you have a vehicle, foreign or domestic, that you want fixed right the first time, take it to Jason Dietsch Automotive Services on the east side of Edgerton.
At Oberlin, Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory, we understand that family is at the heart of everything we do.
Being family-owned and family-focused is not just a slogan for us, it's a way of life. We walk alongside you during life's most challenging moments, providing a guiding hand and a shoulder to lean on.
With heartfelt care and attention to detail, we tailor each service to honor the life and the memories of your loved one. We treat you like family because your journey is our journey.
Oberlin Turnbull Funeral Home and Crematory. Family-owned, family-focused.
Here at the Williams County Veteran Service Office, our mission is plain and simple. We are here to serve our local Williams County veterans and their dependents. We are staffed with trained service officers who have the compassion and understanding to assist their fellow veterans in obtaining all federal and state benefits that they have earned. Additionally, we provide emergency financial assistance and transportation to VA medical centers. So if you're a veteran or a dependent of a veteran, stop in today and see how we can help you at the Williams County Veteran Service Office.
Back on the Golden Bears Sports Network, your final score 49-40. The Bears victorious over the Van Wert Cougars. Chris Malanga and Tim Meister here with you. Want to thank our sponsors bringing you the game. They include Andrews O'Neill and Lowe, the Bryan Athletic Boosters, Danielle Van Adda Agency, Bryan Parks and Rec, Fackler Monument, Jason Dietsch Automotive Services, Northwest State Community College, newcomers Schaefer, Spangler, and Breininger, Oberlin, Turnbull, Funeral Home and Crematory, Starks Plumbing and Heating, Veteran Services of Williams County. Chris Malanga, Tim Meister here with you. And Coach, just a great game for the Golden Bears.
Yeah, absolutely. A much needed win, as we talked about. Both teams came into this feeling like, you know what, this is a winnable game for us to springboard us on to the rest of their season. So really nice job by Bryan in finishing. You know, they held Van Wert's run, and they were able to make one of their own at the end and give themselves a little bit of a gap there. And then they did, I know they struggled a little bit at the end with free throws, but they made free throws the entire game, which really put them in a good situation.
All right, we're getting our final stats wrapped up here. And when we do individuals while we're also calculating the others.
You're asking an awful lot of us.
I am.
Let's start with the Van Wert. For Van Wert, Schaefer had 15, Brigg had 9, Welsh had 7, Steeman had 4, Haggerty had 4, and Miller had 1.
And that number that probably the most surprising out of it is Welsh, who came into the game averaging, was it 16?
I think 14 or 15.
13 a game.
Of his 7, though, 6 of them came in the fourth quarter. Really, at that point, they were just trying to make a run at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So for Bryan, you have to bear with me here. They were led by Jace Kepler with 19 again. Just a tremendous all-around game for Jace. Gavin Jessing had 9. I think, again, Gavin really gives them a whole different look on offense. Lankiness, he's able to score. They can put him in the post. They can step him out. It's a really nice job by Gavin.
Especially as coming in, like, you know, at the start of the year, he didn't start.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, he played JV, I think, most of the year. So, yeah. Carter Dominic had 9 and a ton of defensive rebounds. Really nice job by Carter as well. Sam Harold had 8, and then Langendorfer Maddox had 4. And that will be the individual scoring. I think I've got some team stats for you.
All right,
now.
we'll get some team stats here.
Okay, for Bryan, let's do Van Wert first. For Van Wert, they were 5 for 18 from the 2. They were 9 for 24 from the 3. For Bryan, they were 17 for 38 from the 2. They were 0 for 4 from the 3. Defensive rebounds for Bryan, they had 22 defensive, 10 offense for a total of 32. Van Wert had 7 offensive rebounds and 15 defensive for a total of 22. So again, Bryan winning the rebounding edge by 10, which we talked about coming to the game, Chris, was going to be pretty important. And both teams with 7 turnovers, so really a very clean game as far as turning the ball over. There wasn't a bevy of them. There was never a stretch where it got ugly. I thought both teams, again, took care of the ball and did a really nice job.
We got free throw totals?
We will. For Bryan was 15 for 20.
That's great that we shot 20 free throws.
And for Van Wert, they were 3 for 6.
Okay. So total stats include this. Van Wert was 14 of 42 from the field total. Bryan 17 of 42, so both teams shooting 42. The big stat that comes out to me, there's actually 2 stats that come out to me that are surprising. First, Bryan did not make a 3-point field goal.
They did not make a 3-point field goal.
And they shot 20 free throws. Those are 2 things that are not usually happening with the Golden Bears.
No, and I think that's a pretty good recognition because they understood their mismatch was their physicality inside. And again, they didn't necessarily post up a lot of kids or throw the ball in the post a bunch, but they put the ball on the floor and got into the post. You talked, Chris, a little bit about some of those extra passes they made inside and got themselves to the foul line. So you don't always have to make threes to be successful in basketball, but you either have to be successful in the paint and at the free throw line or successful on the 3 and the free throw line. It's just a combo of 2 of those, and Bryan just chose the other.
All right, final thoughts on this one before we get ready to go?
I think it's a great win for Brock. I mean, he has to feel good about 2 things. One, it's a beatable team, so you beat them. The second thing, though, is you talked about this before the game, his displeasure with their effort and performance on Friday night. And you asked before the game, what's it like for a coach when you got to play back-to-backs? I said sometimes it's a medicine. This was a terrific elixir for Brock because you feel so much better going into the next week. And you say, you know what, this is how we're capable of playing. So let's remember this. Let's remember what made us successful and continue on the rest of the year like it.
All right, I want to thank our broadcast crew. Our director is Krista Bruner. Our camera is John Tripodi and Christopher Ospaw. Athletics Department here at BHS, Nathan Keel and Teresa Kuzma. I want to thank Golden Bear Photography, Matt Neff and Stephanie Ponzak. Our producer back at WOSN is Nick Fraley. Back at WQCT, Rick Armentrott's our board op, spinning the dials, getting us on the air, and I am the executive producer of the Golden Bear Sports Network. You can watch tonight's broadcast on BryanSports.com or on WOSN Monday at 6. WOSN can be found on Spectrum Channel 19 or over the air on Channel 26.1. Our next game is next Thursday night as the girls head to Patrick Henry in an NWOAL matchup. Brian Arnold and I will have the call for you about 7:15 on BryanSports.com and Q96.5. This broadcast is produced by the Golden Bear Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any other duplication or other use of this broadcast, including descriptions or accounts of the game, without the express written consent of the Bryan City School District, is prohibited. One final time for all of us at the Golden Bear Sports Network. With Tim Meister, I'm Chris Malanga. Again, your final score is 49-40. Bears win. Have a great night, everybody.